So that's where we are. So, but they guaranteed, they said to us, we're going to engage, and we know that we have to have a part in this. We have to be a partner. We've seen school districts where it was imposed upon the association, upon the union. And that's not going to succeed if you impose it. So they'll join into a partnership, and it will be voluntary. At least the initial, whether you're in or out, it's going to be voluntary. And so that's the premise they use to say, okay, we're going to move forward. And the discussion, they were having discussions, and discussions fell apart many times. Whether the grant was there, but whether they could come up with something was very difficult. So now they have something in play, and obviously they're going to still be working on it to perfect it, and the nation is looking at Prince George's County. It's important because if Prince George's County succeeds, then everyone is going to want to know how was it done. Give me all the details, and I'm glad to see that you guys have done some of that already. And but other places have actually come to Prince George's County to get the information. We had a group from Australia that came here to find out what's going on in Prince George's County. So, I'm passionate about the fact that when you hear about this, it's not just the union is an obstacle, because I hear it. I hear it at the General Assembly, and I hear it at the school board. And when you engage them, and you said, no, we're not an obstacle. We do have rules. We are, we are a democratic organization, and we exist for fairness. We want to make sure it's fair. Question?
I do. I have a question. You mentioned that merit pay comes off as sort of a dirty term.
Yeah.
What I'm curious about is why that is. Isn't merit a real idea? Right. And would you argue that all teachers who are members of the organization are equally good?
Excellent question. I'll tell you, every teacher that I've asked, whether they, I'll say, are you a good teacher? I've never had a teacher who've told me that I'm not a good teacher. I've never had a teacher who's told me I'm not a good teacher. Now, you'll get, some people will say unions protect bad teachers, and I'm sure you've probably heard that. And being a union attorney for many years, I'll say that's hogwash. And this is the reason I say that. We do have in the collective bargaining agreement, and we're talking about a bargaining state right now, but there are states that you can collectively bargain as we know it. They bargain through the legislature. Take Virginia, that's out. They bargain through the legislature. They may meet and confer, but basically they're right to work state, so they bargain through the legislature. But this is one of the things I hear a lot. I would pay, and you'll see in the Lily Eskeson article, you'll see a story on this. But I hear all the time that you protect bad teachers. I would pay the good teachers a lot of money. That's good. And how much would you pay the bad teacher? Well, less than that. And you'll see what Lily said in her article. Why would you pay the bad teachers anything? If someone is bad, why would you pay them anything? So if you're saying they're bad, then they shouldn't be around. And the misconception when folks say unions keep bad teachers around, no, we don't. There's a process, there's a grievance process. Let's talk about Maryland. We're all in Maryland. There's a grievance process. If the administration believes that a teacher is not doing the work that he or she should be doing, there's a process. There's due process that you have to go through to get rid of that teacher. Now, I assure you, if you do that wrong, you're going to have to deal with the union, because we negotiated that you'll do it a certain way. So you take the proper steps, and you're going to get rid of that teacher. You don't take the proper steps, then you violated our contract. So when folks say that, so merit pay, you know, getting back to merit pay, people see merit pay as the dirty word because you talk about widgets. You know, you borrow it from the private sector. It's hard to use what occurs in the private sector and apply it to a teacher. It's really difficult. Yeah, if you're building widgets. Building 100 widgets a day, and I said I'm going to pay you, $100 a day, but every other widget you make beyond that, I'm going to pay you an extra $1. You can measure that. You can measure it. You can see 100 widgets per day. Boom, you do 99, you're out of here. I expect 100 or something about that. If you make 105, you get $105. That's measurable. Now, for a teacher, when you're looking at, as I said, my wife's a teacher, and Pat taught for many years before she retired. And when my wife comes home, and my wife's a special ed teacher, and the misunderstanding people have to some people that you leave school early, and the teachers have all this time. Not a lot of our teachers stay at school, and even when they leave school, they're working. I can assure you when I go home tonight, my wife's going to be working. So she goes through the process, and with this child that she has there, this child's having problems because she's also calling parents. If that if this particular child fails, and the responsibility is on her, and I'm thinking of a particular child that she's working with, because the parents aren't being very, they're not cooperating. But if they were to measure her on that, to say, well, this child, this is the only child in your class that failed, therefore you failed. I don't see that as fair. So you can't just transfer what you have in the private sector. It's a lot more. Students who are in their class who are falling asleep. Students who are in their class that will just get up and walk around, disrupt the other kids. One of the things I do, because I want to understand teachers, I can understand my wife, but I want to understand other teachers too. I will sub. Usually I do it in the public school system that they don't know me, so since we don't represent students in Baltimore, teachers in Baltimore County, Baltimore City, I'll go to Baltimore City and I'll sub. Because when I'm in the staff lounge with teachers, they're complaining, but I know they're not telling me everything. When I'm wearing my MSBA hat, when I'm there as one of them, even though I'm a substitute, I hear a lot more. And so I learned from that experience. And so it's I said we do leadership training too, and I have young teachers that we train through the association, how the association works. And you always have merit pay. The word merit pay comes up. And you always have one teacher who would say, merit pay, and I'll engage them. And there were 4 young teachers. They were from 1 to 3, and I went during lunch. I sat with them, and so the lady who brought it up, I said to her, so you like merit pay? And she said, yeah, I should be paid more. I think I'm a great teacher. And the other 3 ladies took her on. I didn't have to say much. She said, are you saying we're not a great teacher? She never said that, but it's just a perception. And she said, no, I didn't say that, but you're saying you should be paid more than, and they're having this discussion, which is getting heated, and about, which one is good. So they're saying they're all good. Now, I guarantee you that some are better teachers than others, but they all see themselves as good teachers. And when they were done, I asked the question. The first lady, I said, what kind of teacher are you? And she said she teaches art. And the other teacher that was challenging her more, she was a science teacher. And my point is, well, as an art teacher, you probably wouldn't receive the incentive as readily as she would, even though you believe you're a better teacher. So you might be a great teacher, but you're in the wrong subject. as far as whomever determines that. So that's another piece that our members get upset about. And in the same manner, they will tell us, if I'm in the same school and the math teacher, and I go back to math because we get that math and science a lot, and I know I have the same experience as that math teacher, and that math teacher is making $10,000 more, and we've got the same experience, same degree, and so forth, I'd be ticked, and I wouldn't help that math teacher a lot, help that math teacher at all. Now, that's a personal thing, whether other people will say that or not, yeah, I don't know. But